But apparently, Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Brittney Griner just did something that made the internet stop cold. Just a look, a moment, and a few words. That flipped the entire conversation. And now, people are questioning everything. Why does social media's AI treat her like a man? Why does she reject the word mom? Why do fans keep pointing at her voice, her chest, her presence, like it's all part of some unsolved puzzle? We're not talking about some random theory on a shady forum. We're talking about viral clips, lip-reading breakdowns, even NBA fans asking if the WNBA has been hiding something all along, and the league stays silent, completely silent. So what's going on with Brittney Griner? Is it all just online madness? Or is there something here the WNBA never wanted us to notice? Because once you connect the dots, you'll start asking questions you didn't even think you were allowed to ask. It all started with what looked like a simple foul on the court. Brittney Griner and Caitlin Clark collided during a tense WNBA matchup, which is something that happens all the time in heated games. The whistle blew, players pulled back, and for a moment it seemed like just another flash of intensity in the middle of a close match. But then, the camera zoomed in on Brittney Griner's face, and what she seemed to say in that moment, everything started to spiral. Some fans claimed they saw her mouth the words, "trash white girl," and some say she said, "trash." The footage started spreading online like wildfire. Lip readers weighed in. Analysts paused the clip frame by frame, TikTokers turned it into content, and very quickly, a spark turned into a full-blown controversy. Now, normally, when someone's caught in the middle of a scandal this loud, especially one involving racial slurs, they rush to clear the air, right? They often come up with a tweet, a video statement, a press conference, literally anything to explain what really happened. But Brittney said absolutely nothing. No apology, no denial, not even a vague Instagram story. And in that silence, people started to wonder, why? Why would someone stay quiet when their reputation, and possibly their entire career, is being dragged through the dirt? And that is when things took an unexpected turn, because the conversation quickly shifted from, "What did Brittney Griner say?" to, "Who is Brittney Griner really?" Now, let's not pretend this is brand new gossip. For years, people have speculated about Brittney's identity. Her voice is deep, her build is incredibly muscular, and she is very, very tall. So, to some, that alone has always sparked curiosity or judgment. This time, people weren't just whispering, they were actually digging. They went through old interviews, rewatched game footage, and then someone pulled up a clip that had mostly flown under the radar until now. It was a topless video, supposedly from Brittney's own Instagram story. She's shirtless in it. Nothing blurred, nothing flagged. The kind of post that, if it came from a typical female athlete, would have been instantly removed by Instagram's algorithm. But in this case, the post stayed up for over 2 years. And that's when the internet started asking some real questions. Did Instagram's AI system mistake Brittney Griner's body for that of a man? Because if that's true, if even artificial intelligence saw something that didn't align with what the public's been told, then maybe the public's questions aren't so far-fetched. Before long, the theories came flooding in. Some say Brittney was assigned male at birth but raised and presented as female her entire life. Others believe she may be intersex, meaning she was born with a rare combination of male and female biological traits, something that naturally results in higher testosterone levels and increased physical strength. And then there's the third theory, that she's a transgender woman who has been undergoing testosterone therapy, giving her a potential edge in women's sports. Here is the emotional core of it all. The uncertainty. Since no one knows anything for sure, in such circumstances the silence from Brittney's end might not just feel unfair, it might feel like betrayal. The rumors never really died now. Here is where it gets really interesting. Brittney is openly lesbian. That's no secret. Her wife, Cherelle Griner, is beautiful, accomplished. And for the most part, the public has always seen them as just a strong LGBTQ couple. But then, last year, out of nowhere, the news broke that they were expecting a baby. People started getting really confused because they never said how. I mean, there was no mention of a sewergate or a donor, because unless science has pulled off a miracle, we don't know about two women can biologically make a baby together. That's just facts. Fast forward a few months, and yes, the baby has been born. Sherelle gave birth. But instead of the public cheering, many were side-eyeing, because the question became even louder: how did that happen? Well, people started putting two and two together and came up with one wild conclusion: that Brittney Griner might not be female. Now here comes the part that had fans clutching their phones and raising eyebrows. Right before her son's birth, Brittney sat for a CBS Sports interview. The interviewer asked about her feelings about being a parent. Her energy was calm, but what followed was unexpected. When the anchor calls her mom, Brittney corrects her gently and says she wants to be called Pops.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling?
Pops.
Pops. Oh, let me get it
Pops.
together.
Pops.
About to be a pops.
And suddenly, the internet went from confused to straight up suspicious. I mean, she wouldn't like to be called mom or mama or even mama. Nope, she said she wants to be called the opposite. The liberal opposite. Just think about it. If you're a woman, a mother, and proud of it, wouldn't you want to be called mom, especially when it's your first child? But Brittney did not seem too thrilled about that title. Now, this doesn't mean anything's confirmed. We're not doctors, we're not the WNBA. We're not here to diagnose or expose someone's private life. But you can't blame people for asking questions when this much mystery surrounds something so public. At this point, you've got a deep voice, a baby announcement that doesn't quite add up, a topless video with no Instagram blur, and now a refusal to even be called mom. That's a lot of puzzle pieces, and every day it seems like more are being added. Her wife just confirmed everything then. Another clip resurfaced where Brittney's wife, Sherelle Griner, was being interviewed. Basically, the idea was to discuss Brittney Griner's time in Russian prison. This was supposed to be about pain, loss, and fighting to bring Brittney home. But if you were really listening, and I mean really listening, something much deeper was buried between the lines. Sherelle didn't just say Brittney was unlawfully detained. She called her a hostage, not just by Russia, but by a system. And this is where things get unconformable, because that label she might be referring to is identity, one that some people believe was always true, and others believe it was a carefully managed facade. Oh, let's not pretend Brittney's 6'9" frame and baritone voice haven't raised questions before. Combine that with years of playing pro basketball in Russia, where gender scrutiny is intense, and you get a perfect storm of curiosity and doubt. And then there's Sherelle herself, who breaks down while describing her partner, saying she's not herself. BG is at her absolute weakest moment. Afraid of being left and forgotten, or completely used to the point of her detriment. For what, exactly? At this point, the lines are blurry. Is this about freedom, or something far more complicated? You tell us. Everything's summed up now, fans are connecting the dots. The topless photos that weren't flagged by Instagram, the deeper voice, the flat chest, the physical dominance on the court. And now this? So here's the million-dollar question. Did Sherelle just accidentally confirm that Brittney Griner isn't who the WNBA says she is? Is Pops a clue that Brittney's been telling the truth all along, just not in the way we expected? Or is this just the world refusing to accept someone who never fit in their box to begin with? Either way, this story gets twisted the more we dig into it. So, was Brittney Griner exposed? Or did she just finally say it out loud? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you think it's still unfair for her to be a part of women's basketball with the strength of a male, write "fair play for all" in the comments. And for more WNBA-related content, Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.